goes from 9th. Jack Miller, who was awesome yesterday in FP3.
Let's hope we've got some decent show coming up here as the riders make their way in. Right, you've got to try and just get through there squeaky clean. So easy to outbrake yourself.
What are the pre-race thoughts of Michelin Motorsport manager Piero Tarama?
This is with the hard front, so this is that was clear already this morning. On the rear, Jack Miller at the last moment he put the hard one. So this is the she didn't do enough laps in a row, so we cannot anticipate, but for sure.
Then so Brad Binder and Valentino Rossi medium rear, hard rear for Jack Miller. Everyone else has gone for the soft. Air temperature 43 on track.
Yeah, all the riders have touched upon this all weekend about how physically probably more than speed in this Grand Prix.
The first it's got a bit of a mountain to climb because the man who is so hungry to return to Moto MotoGP race here in 2013, and then when
Bagnaia brilliantly resisted intense pressure from Marquez in Aragon. It's Power Rodeo.
We're back in Austin, we're back in, and we're underway here in Austin. A good start there from all riders on the front row for lead through turn 1 here in Austin.
Been a really good start for Alex Rins. And that top 4 already.
Yeah, brilliant from both he and Joan Mir, but Marc Marquez just ahead of Jorge Martin.
Miller tried to run a tight line into turn 1 to pick up some places. Rins is real places in the first sector already.
What a rock over the crest through turn 10.
I'm just going to say, as Nakagami tried into turn 1 to try and make some place up from 10th, but he got boxed in at Miller.
12 from Fabio Quartararo. Here comes Pecco Bagnaia trying to bite back at Rins, not enough room.
Try and gap the field and then manage it as perhaps fatigue crept in the second half of the race. Looking for Bagnaia.
We head up towards turn 16. Issues with Mark leading this one. It's all about where Pecco Bagnaia finishes at the moment. He's champion.
Texas winner, 7th he started, and he's already clawed his way up inside that top 3 in 4th place.
Pecco Bagnaia coming under pressure. Further back to, and then it's Alex Marquez.
Yeah, Miller will just be waiting for that hard rear tyre to come in. Second half of the race, perhaps when some of the grip ahead of him fades. Marquez then in position 8. Quartararo just starting to gap Martin and Bagnaia. Martin's actually got Pecco Bagnaia, hasn't it? It's not been the start.
Immediately then down in 5th, breaking into turn 11. Marc Marquez.
Turn number 11. Nakagami's had good pace all weekend. He's been top 6 in 2 or 3 sessions. He was quickest man in this morning's warm-up.
Who's that? He's gone down.
I think he's tapping Nakagami.
It is Nakagami this weekend, this morning in particular.
Taka tumbles in Texas, not what we wanted to say at all. Sometimes when there's the down and out.
There is Jorge Martin, since getting his fastest lap of the race to Jorge Martin.
Yeah, this is an excellent job by Jorge Martin. Some doubts about how long he can Martin. Bagnaia, though, starting to get into his groove after an early joust with Nakagami.
He's remounted, but he's stone last, 21st for the Japanese rider. This is how it went. He's found it hard to get the bike stopped through there.
The gap back from Martin to Pecco Bagnaia, just under 7/10 of a second.
Staff aggressive move there from Jack Miller. He lunges up the inside of both Joan Mir and
he's got that hard rear tyre in, which you would think in theory is going to give him the superior grip, the better grip.
Jack Miller 10th on the grid. That qualifying certainly did not give away exactly what the speed is. Looking very good indeed, and a proper threat. The rookie in 4th as we cross the line.
They sweep down the hill into this fast turn number 2. It's advantage Alex Rins.
Yesterday, isn't he? The Australian wants to put the record straight. Marquez then, still about 2-3.
Significance of making that move back on Martin immediately into the first corner, because if he gets stuck behind the Ducati, it's so imperative that Rins made that move, although he might get swallowed up here now, down the back straight.
Have a look.
Yeah. There's no might in it, was there? There was no might in it. That was just effortless for Jorge Martin, just wound that Ducati up to...
Yeah, taking lumps out of each other there, Mir and Binder. Mir retaliates immediately. It's where Marc Marquez really starts to show his cards and pull away, but at the moment,
as he hits the brakes into the first corner, Orlando Bloom, he's up at the top of the hill, isn't he, at the first corner, getting a good eye, couldn't you?
It's Zarco. Johann Zarco has crashed out. The Fragati rider is down and out.
Well,
Quartararo starting to get warmed up into this one nicely, isn't he? He's taken a 10th out of Marc Marquez in turn.
In 2021, we know it's a different Marc Marquez this year as he recovers back.
Going on between Martin and Rins. Hang on a second. Oh, I thought Martin was going to have a look at Quartararo then. He's looking very good, isn't he?
Slightly earlier, Rins had to dive past it. He had the back off the ground, had to leap, and he pulled it off Perth, but the braking marker is later on the Suzuki because of the top speed.
a real nuisance. As he gets closer now, we're on board with him to Fabio.
Taking away from Jorge Martin, who you've got to say at the moment is doing absolutely outstanding. Jorge Martin is moving through on Fabio Quartararo, who's going to be last on the brakes into the first corner. Whoa, that was tight. Throw, the biggest it's been, nearly half a second.
Fabio Quartararo unwilling to allow Jorge. Can he close up to the leading quartet?
Yeah, Marquez will be hoping that Jorge Martin can start as they sweep down through that very bumpy turn 10 on lap number 6.
Can Martin get close enough?
Half a second already in this first 2 sectors on this 6th lap. He's nearly a second clear now of the Frenchman.
This is what he does. And he's now up into 4th in the background there. Juan Mir has been passed as well. Brad Binder.
And yesterday, it's a premature end to the race for 31-year-old Frenchman.
Jack Miller then is now through on... Oh no, we saw that. No, he's through on Alex.
The 204s with the Repsol Honda man. So Marquez took half out of Quartararo on
Marquez bolting. If he stays in 2nd place, he does not feature in his championship. Huge in the context of the World Championship as well. At the moment, Pecco Bagnaia struggling. He's not really...
Catty and Pecco Bagnaia's title aspirations.
Just in the background there, you can see Pol Espargaro is at his then 11th ahead of Alex Marquez and Andrea Dovizioso.
There is Bagnaia, you can see, made small mistakes, easy to do over these tricky Austin bumps, but be a clean move, didn't he? There was no way that Jack was going to make an aggressive move on Pecco Bagnaia when his teammates fighting for the World Championship, and then
the movement being made by Miller, but perhaps concerned about Pecco Bagnaia as we cross the line here and 2nd lead over the World Championship leader.
Yeah, it's already started to with Bagnaia struggling at the moment, still in the mid-205s. Pecco Bagnaia in 6th place.
Limit in line for what would be his 4th Moto GP podium. He's the 10th clear of Jack Miller.
It would be a big mistake to throw away 20 points.
Yeah, complete great speed and rhythm. The rookie, he learns so well on that 2-year-old Ducati. He's in 9th.
Frankie Morbidelli is 16th.
Someone just went straight on in the background there, I'm not sure. Post another lap record as he comes around the final corner here.
Race at 2:04.761, but that was still 2/10 slower than Marc Marquez ahead of him.
Personal best lap of the race as well, ahead of Pecco Bagnaia.
Yeah, 2 or 3 laps ago, Steve, there must have been a mistake by Alex Rins, because from Alex Rins, so there was obviously some kind of error, a small mistake by Alex Rins.
This is a replay of the race start. Perfect start for Marc Marquez from 3rd. He's on that inside line, immediately cuts across the nose of Fabio Quartararo. Further back to Suzuki's got...
Yeah, Rins had a fantastic first lap. I mean, he got from 7th to 3rd by the end of that opening lap. Straight away, he picks off Nakagami. Sector 3 off, dearie me, Aleix Espargaro has had an absolutely pretty unlucky turn 13 for Aleix Espargaro. He will not be looking back on this one too fondly.
Fabio Quartararo up the road in 2nd. On board here now with the Italian Price.
Got to say, Jorge Martin's riding out of his skin.
To some rhythm, actually. Finally, he's into the 204s, his first 2-0 Suzuki of Alex Rins.
Yeah, there's only one man quicker ahead of him right now, Pecco Bagnaia, and that's Marc Marquez, your race leader. Looks like it might all be coming a little bit too early. Blitzes by Alex Rins' factory Suzuki, so that's at least another play.
Then safely moves up into 5th place. Jack Miller just up ahead of him as clawed a 10th or the
Bagnaia knew that just using that little bit of extra acceleration for the Ducati, what happened.
At the moment, championship-wise, this is going perfectly. 11. That would increase his advantage to 50.
Marc Marquez was running away with the race in 2019. 3.6 seconds was when he crashed that circuit, capable of keeping himself in the 204s, and it is Marc Marquez.
Circuits where you just knew Marc Marquez was going to bring out the big guns.
Took this one off thinking this is a great chance to take his 2nd win of the season. He was on the front row for the first time.
Different look in his eye here this weekend. He knew yesterday that his pace on used tyres was good. He knew that there were a
gap to around 3-4 tenths. In fact, he's eked it out. He's a little bit quick on that last lap over Miller. It's up to
absolutely peeling away from the pack at 2:04.5.
Just as Jack Miller got left, Miller's 7 tenths behind Martin's, continuing just a stretch away at the moment from Miller. It was 8 tenths through sector 1. Strong in the second half race. He could still well be with that Michelin hard rear tyre, but this one at the moment operating in a class of it.
Just putting in yet another brilliant performance. His consistency has been in the late 204s and early 205.
Yeah, the longer he gets stuck behind Miller, the lesser chance he has of then trying to...
Bagnaia was half a
3/10 slower than Marquez, less than a tenth slower than
That's the first time that we've seen anything like that so far in 2021. I wonder if Pecco Bagnaia, then he will. And he's not exactly...
His weekend has kind of unravelled in that 15-minute Q2. Yeah, well, Pecco Bagnaia's got his hands full to cut that gap. He's got to find 2 seconds to bring Bagnaia back into contention for the podium.
Complete control, 3.6 seconds up the road ahead of Fabio Quartararo, the World Championship.
To win the championship next time out in Misano.
He's done what he's failed to do in the past. He's remained consistent. He's made the bad.
Got a big buffer back to Jorge Martin. He'll be relieved that there's no significant pressure coming from behind him. Fabio Quartararo hasn't materialised right from the get-go. Pecco Bagnaia. Bagnaia, though's got the pace for this young man, Jorge Martin, who's just there. Pecco Bagnaia, he was a tenth quicker than the Italian in 4th place. And again, he's only
his lap times just a moment ago. He's cruising and he's had a trouble-free race thus far. The Monster Energy, you would think, the throne that he so adores. He's racing in America. He always has done. And he has been brilliant. There's no doubt about it, Matt. You can just see here as they headed round turn 10, the issues earlier on in the weekend in terms of handling those bumps. That Honda looks pretty...
How much longer Jack Miller will be able to resist the Suzuki man behind him?
Yeah, this an FP4 at the moment, 5th place. It would be 3 consecutive 5th place finishes at the moment. Australian.
It's coming, you know it's coming right now into turn 15. Alex Reed, rear tyre not working out at all for the Australian. Now he's starting to go backwards. Miller then back into...
in the battle for 8th. Here is Marc Marquez then with 5 laps. Simon, your thoughts and observations at this stage with 5 to go?
Yeah, my thoughts are they're gritting their teeth. Pretty much everyone out there, and it's also the...
With his recovering body at the moment, still resisting. Daniele Romagnoli, he has a good long look at his pit board and he'll see laps to go. What was the difference in lap time between the 2 of them? Yeah, half a second Bagnaia found on that lap 16. This one's
a few tenths between himself and Bagnaia in the fight for 3rd.
To probably the most physical, I'd say definitely the most physical track on the calendar, and you know, you haven't got the experience to make the machine do it, and yeah, truly amazing job, but I really think he's suffering.
Has he got some kind of problem? There's a couple of times there where it seemed like he was looking down at the dash. Hopefully knocked him out. I mean, if he can hang on here, this would be one of the rides of the season from Jorge Martin.
In the state of the championship, just a thought.
He's going to snatch his 3rd place away from Jorge Martin. Not close enough as they come.
They're trying to limit the damage, and he's been given a long lap penalty for the shortcuts at turns 4 and 5.
Just the big runoff through turns 4 and 5. I wonder what caused the runoff, whether he just tired and just didn't have the energy to change.
It's actually the cut, is it, that they get penalised for? It's for not losing enough time through that when you...
in the championship battle, but 4 points that he can ill afford to surrender. 18th lap of 20 with a 4.2 second advantage over Fabio Quartararo.
Anyways, having started from pole. Further back, Martin then is 4th. He's got to take a look back. Bastianini is right on the tail of both Jack Miller and as a rookie on a 2-year-old Ducati.
Super impressive again by Enea Bastianini.
Has to be careful because there'll be further penalties to come.
That's the thing, isn't it? He could be...
Pramac Ducati are keeping an eye on things, but he's not going to be getting on the podium, I'm afraid, Jorge Martin, by the look.
A one-man demolition job. It's been an exhibition like we've seen so many times here in Kota. Over a second. Quartararo looks like he's going to take 20 impressively precious points for the championship race.
So often we've shown up here in Austin, and on his return from injury in what has been the most unbelievable and emotional years.
It's been absolutely awesome. He is going to conquer Kota for the 7th.
He deserved that.
No, what a race. What a race by Jorge Martin, but what a race by this man. He's going to reclaim the crown. He's back on the throne as the King of Kota, surely.
7 wins in 8. King of Kota is back on his throne. Captain America is back. You can see how happy he is with that. And Pecco Bagnaia in the end 3rd.
So in the modern four-stroke era, Honda have now won 19 of the last 25 at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. We've seen this site a few times. It's going to be a lovely tribute here. Look at that, the 69 Nicky Hayden flag being presented to his word. He's going to be scoffing donuts on the podium. Fabio Quartararo, that's going to feel like a win for him, and he takes 4 points out of his championship rival Pecco Bagnaia on a different level again here today in Kota.
A great tribute